This is a quick tour of the Sansevierias in my house, also called snake plant, I think, or mother-in-law's tongue. So this is actually a plant that I got from my parents. It was one of 3 plants that were growing in the same pot. I guess this was probably an offshoot of the parent plant. So it has some nice color variation. It's not too big, so it sits in the kitchen here. So this is the first one. This is the second Sansevieria that I will be showing you. This one is the parent plant from the sort of trio that I got from my parents. It was really sort of lopping top, it was top heavy and sort of lopsided and hanging over. So I separated them and kind of trimmed them, re-rooted them and potted them up really deeply so that they don't tip over. And they're all sitting in ceramic pots to give them extra weight on the bottom. So this is the biggest of the ones that I have, but I'll show you the others. This is number 3 of the trio of Sansevierias that I sort of split up from a large one that was donated by my parents. So we'll go and see the other ones, but these ones are by far the larger ones. Here's a different kind. This one, instead of having colors that are lined up with sort of the growth direction of the plant, sort of, can't think of the right word, but these ones have sort of the more stripes instead of the lines that run the length of the leaf. So this one I got more recently, and it's quite nice. It's actually got a little growth coming out here on the side here, a new plant. So that's another one. Here's 2 more. These actually were also from my parents' house. This one is kind of, it looks little, but it was also in a sort of a set. So it had this one with it. And actually it's got a new growth here now too, after many years of just sort of being in this pot. So these ones here, and then I've got one little one downstairs. And here's the final one. So this one is by far the smallest. Although it is growing quite nicely, it will always be sort of a small plant. And this one is actually the most recent acquisition. This one I got a couple months ago. So it's going to be in here amongst other plants, obviously. All of the Sansevierias are sort of in different locations in the house, and they get different levels of natural light and artificial light. The care instructions are fairly simple for these plants. They're very, very low maintenance. They can take very low levels of light. In fact, I think some of them in my parents' house were in rooms that had very, very little direct or bright light. And they don't need watering every week. You can probably go several weeks before you need to water them. Just check the soil moisture. So basically, stick your finger in the soil if you can, or use something that will detect the moisture, maybe 1 or 2 inches down, and let it dry out completely before watering again. So if you put your finger in and it still feels damp or moist, maybe an inch below the soil, just leave it. You want it to really dry out thoroughly before you water again. So that's it for the Sansevierias. Thank you for coming with me on this tour. We shall see you again later.